This is a HeadGum podcast.
All right, guys. Today we are sponsored by Tidal.
Oh, Tidal.
Ooh.
It's your boy.
Right? Hove. It's Hove's company.
But more specifically, Usher's new video, No Limit.
Uh-oh.
No limits.
Usher.
That song rocks.
Usher.
Yeah, of course, man. Usher's been just hitting it.
USAGRAYMOND. That's not the song, though, right?
Not even loud. Not at all.
It's not that song.
But Tidal and Usher have introduced the No Limit dance competition for fans on social media.
Oh, I'm about to jump in this.
Mm-hmm. Now, you got to hurry up, though, because entries, they kind of already begun. It's from August 10th to August 22nd.
Okay.
I'm going to win, though.
All right? You're encouraged to film yourself, reenacting the choreography from Usher's No Limit video and share using the hashtag #TidalX No Limit Contest.
Yes.
Use it on any social media
What's
platform.
happening on September 5th? Something happened on September 5th, right? Oh, Usher is choosing 3 finalists to be flown for a master dance class.
I don't know why
Bro,
people
could you
people doing it. I'm winning, so it's like.
I mean,
Imagine being taught by Usher.
I couldn't. In Atlanta, no less.
I mean,
oh yeah, it'd be so dope.
It's taught by Usher's choreographer.
What?
And look. The grand prize winner will be invited to visit Usher on set of an upcoming music video. And have the opportunity to take over Usher's social media handles while on set.
Oh, wow. That's a real good one.
Okay.
That's a dope contest.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So now, if you want to know more information, No Limit video can be found on Tidal.com/Usher. All right. And contest rules can be viewed at TidalX NoLimit.splashthat.com.
Splash that.
What? Why'd you say it like that?
What
Splash that.
Ugh, stop it.
Weirdo.
No, because that's what it's.
Anyway, Tidal, y'all get on that No Limit campaign and sign up for Tidal. Thank you, Tidal. And now we start the show.
But go ahead, because Bray about to hit y'all with it real quick.
Oh yeah, but so the trailer for so basically, I don't remember. I don't know
what it is.
I don't know I honestly don't know what the movie's about.
But it's that.
All I know is that it's set in China.
It's called
the Great Wall of the Great Wall of China.
Yeah.
He's like on this wall. He's fighting some dragons, and literally every other single person in this cast is of Asian descent except for Matt Damon. They're not like, oh, Matt Damon, Chinese. Like, why is he there?
Can I paint the scene for the trailer? Can I paint the scene?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to show y'all the trailer right now. All right, this is back in the 1800s. It lets you know that it took thousands of people to build the Great Wall. Mm-hmm. Every sudden, you see Asian people building, working. They got armor. Next thing you know, they're trying to fight something. You don't know what it is. You see a white man with a ponytail. You don't see his face yet. The white man with his ponytail is walking down a corridor full of Asians. He's got a sword and a bow and arrow. Next thing you know, it's Matt Damon, and it says, to defend, you need the one, or some bullshit. And you know who the one is. Well, the white savior. He is literally a white savior in the movie.
He's the white hero.
But like,
Can I
but
ask-
it's
Go ahead, ask a question.
Well, is he supposed to be a white dude?
don't know.
Right.
I'm sure
No, he looks white. He looks.
Okay, well, then let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that movie sells if it's, I don't know who an Asian star is. I won't say Jet Li, but that just ages
John
me.
Chap.
Well, can I
The
tell you
guy,
one
yeah.
thing? John Chap. First off, I think the thing is, you just push the movie like it's a real movie. The thing is, in China, of course it will sell. First off, which what people probably don't even know right now is like Jackie Chan, who is probably like old to us, is the highest selling actor in China right now.
Well,
at 62 years old,
Not just
he's
old
making.
to us.
He's an old man.
No, I mean, yeah. Shut up.
He's old to them too. Like, they're
he's
like, oh, this
old,
man.
yeah.
But what I was saying is Jackie Chan is the bankable actor, right?
Yeah.
Asian. So China will support whoever. It's like we just don't push shit. Like we don't make it a big deal.
Well, I'm not even talking about China.
Yeah,
I'm talking about America. What do movies sell in America?
Is that movie gonna sell with Matt Damon? Like, are people like?
Not now. Not now.
So
it
it's
ain't.
weird though because when Gods and Monsters came out, I remember going home for Thanksgiving and like just everybody was like,
Gods of Egypt or
what
whatever?
is it? Yeah.
No,
Gods of
there was another one. So it was Guys of Egypt.
Whichever one came out around that time,
And then it was Guys, and it was the Guys of Egypt.
You're talking about
the Gerard Butler one.
I'm talking about the one with the white people.
Gerard
Two, right?
It was two. It was one with Gerard Gerard Butler, where he...
It's
where they
Gods
were-
of Egypt. It's
What I'm saying
is
is,
it?
what I'm saying
Man,
is,
just get to the point.
what I'm trying to say.
Nobody saw either one of those movies. Don't give a fuck.
But when I went home for Thanksgiving, like, just everybody was like, "Oh, I can't wait to see that movie." Like,
James, first off, can I say one thing?
yeah, but nobody saw it though. It didn't make
Your
money.
love of movies is questionable, and the people
no,
you
I'm not
watch
saying
movies
I
with-
wanted to see. I'm talking about my family. I'm talking about black people.
I
I'm
don't
talking
know
about
about
people that.
Right.
I'm talking about people that I've talked about it on podcasts. That when I go home, I feel uncomfortable because I don't feel like I fit in as a black person.
I'm gonna be honest, my black friends got the worst taste in movies of any of my friends.
No, it's
You
true.
put out a Shark
mean-
Night 2, and every black friend I have will be like, that shit is
James
gotta
watches
be
a lot of
lit.
these bad movies.
I
I don't
mean,
watch that.
You were
I
watching
mean-
Shark Night too.
Shark Night 2.
white people aren't seeing Tyler
That's not
Perry
fair.
movies.
I mean, look.
I mean, hey, don't bring up that.
I'm just saying.
Don't say that name here.
All right, you know what? It's time to start the show.
Isn't this the show? Is this not the show?
Jonathan Braylock, James III, Jerah Milligan.
What more can I say? You know what it is.
Black men can't jump. Black actors, man. Black actors. All right.
Let's say
That's gonna get cut down to 15 seconds.
Welcome to Black Men Can't Jump in Hollywood.
Hollywood City.
All I want to do is pluck, 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 pluck.
Are you gonna finish it?
I was waiting for that.
All I want to do is black.
No, he's singing the
That's
song of the movie.
It's-
All I want to do is pluck, pluck,
I thought the song was doing.
No,
That's the other song.
No, the MIA song is the hit. That's it. That's the hit. Yo, we got a
Jai-Ho
guest.
was the one that won the.
Yeah, but MIA.
Jai-Ho.
Is it where I don't
That's
feel
the
comfortable?
wrong song.
Is it where I don't feel comfortable? singing that
J-Ho.
song?
That's J-Ho.
Oh, saying it wrong.
See, that's
We're
what I'm happy I
saying
didn't
the-
sing.
we're saying it wrong.
We
I
said it wrong.
legit don't feel comfortable singing
said
this
it
song.
wrong the whole
And
It
I'm
doesn't
so
matter.
happy.
Akash is here to
Yes.
let us know what's
Yes.
right.
Yes, I was like, I
That's
don't want to
why
sing this.
Akash is here to let us know what's right.
That's the first song I've never joined in on, and I'm so happy I did too.
Hey, yo, I don't. Hey,
Yo, first off, we got a guest in the house. Gakko girl coder in this thing. Akaash Singh.
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me.
Hold on, wait. I didn't do the drums. Can I do drums? Let me do redo
You
here.
missed it. It's
Yeah, you
already
missed
over.
it.
You
No,
said
no,
that.
no,
You've
no,
already
wait.
done it.
You can't do the drums after.
It's because Bray,
This
you
is your
introduce
friend,
him.
Akaash.
Bray, you introduce him. Bray, you introduce him.
Oh, okay, here we go again. So, like Jerah said, we have a special guest. Oh my God, Akaash Singh.
Boop. Gotta get the drums in there, baby.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Gotta get the drums in there.
You
more
gotta get
special
those
now.
drums.
Was that not special with the drums?
Yeah, I expected a little more, to be honest. I didn't know it was gonna be boo 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 boo.
Okay. All right. Okay. Everybody's a critic.
When you made everybody start over, I thought I was like, this is gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
Producer Nick, did you like it?
No, don't bring Nick in.
Yeah,
this.
producer Nick.
All right.
Don't bring Nick in.
Nick with the great teeth.
Producer Nick is very attractive, but he's married now, man. We try to hook him up all the time, but he has a wife.
He dresses like he doesn't realize he's good looking.
Well, he probably. I feel like producer Nick used to be
You're wearing
unattractive when he
Asics
was
right
younger.
now. Why are you wearing Asics, Nick? Don't let Brooklyn get to you like that.
He's a handsome
some
homeless
Nikes.
I
man.
am so interested in our audience's a picture of what
Oh,
Nick
they-
looks like.
Yo, get it. I was gonna say that the cover of this
They
one
want
should
it.
just be Nick's teeth.
Oh, man.
Dude got great teeth. You got braces, Nick, or that's natural? That's all natural. Dang, girl.
Oh, fake.
Well,
Yeah,
all, it's all veneer. It's just a bunch of things.
looks like.
just so you know, producer Nick has not stopped smiling this entire time.
So we're reviewing the film Slumdog Millionaire. Came out 2008. Danny Boyle directed it, starring
Dev Patel
There you
Dev
go.
Patel.
and Frida Pinto.
Frida Pinto.
beautiful girl.
What?
Frida Pinto.
You know, what's funny is in India.
Sorry.
Sorry, we're not trying to objectify her, but man, you got to admire
come
beauty.
on now.
You got to admire some beauty.
What were you about to say about?
In India, they don't like Frida Pinto.
Oh, no.
My
Why
cousins and
not?
stuff don't like Frida. They love Dev Patel. They don't like Frida Pinto.
Why is that?
I don't know. Nobody seems to think she's pretty, and I don't know what it is.
They don't think she's.
Indians have a very complicated relationship with Slumdog Millionaire. I don't know if it's complicated,
I
like
get that.
individually.
That makes sense.
I get that.
Individually, you tend to feel very strongly one way or the other.
Right.
But a lot of Indians really love it, and a lot of Indians really hate it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
imagine
polarizing
so.
movie.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
polarizing. That's the word I was looking for.
It's interesting because, okay, so this is a UK produced film. Well, kind of. I mean, I think.
Yeah, it's not Hollywood.
It was UK, but they
But like
they ended up
Americans
doing a deal with.
yeah. So it's like but like anyway, Danny Boyle, and there's a lot of British actors in it, including Dev Patel, and it made a lot of money.
Made
It made like,
over $377 million.
and then it only cost $15 million to make, which is crazy. When you
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah, I remember when this movie came out. It was insane.
Now they filmed it in India.
They did what they did was, which is very interesting, is they did one of those things that like now the U.S. is starting to do. They partnered with an Indian production company, so they hired a bunch of famous Bollywood actors, and they actually hired a lot of the crew from India, so that way they get the tax break.
Oh, okay.
So it was cheaper for them to do it.
Right. Which makes you wonder, like, were these people being paid? I don't know. Maybe. I'm sure they're paid.
Oh, they ended up. I need to find an article. I remember when this movie came out because it was such a big deal because the kids didn't make money, but once the movie made so much money, they ended up paying the kids. They ended up like going back and giving the kids money because I mean, this movie. First off, it was an independent that was picked up by Fox Searchlight, so it was like all they did was had a distribution deal. So it was like Danny Boyle and them took in all this money. It was like it's insane. They took in so much money.
Yeah. And so obviously it critically was received very well when it came out, and it won a bunch of Oscars. It won like 8.
It won Best Picture.
It won Best Picture.
It won Best Picture.
It won Best Director. It won Best Adapted Screenplay. Like those are the
but
3 big ones.
Dev didn't get nominated for Best Actor though.
No, he didn't.
But I mean, was he Best Actor?
I mean, I thought
he was good.
He was good.
Rested on, honestly, it rested on his shoulders though.
Well, let's do initial thoughts. I mean, let's start with you, James, because this is the first time you saw it.
This is my first time seeing it, and I was mad at myself watching it that I didn't see it the first time around. It's so good.
It's good.
It's like
movie.
so good. I don't know what to say about it besides that. Like I was just like I was wrapped. Like just all the connections to the answers and stuff I thought were it was just like very beautifully woven together. And then like at the end I was like, it's D'Artagnan. It has to be D'Artagnan. That's so funny.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
It's never D'Artagnan. He was the
D'Artagnan
fourth.
is the fourth.
He was the fourth
Right.
one.
So I was like, so when they do the other, I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna say the wrong thing, and like, but like he's a millionaire because he has the girl that he fight. Like I was just like,
so
I was
funny.
so beautifully tricked by the end of the movie. Like I don't know.
Just by your own ignorance.
By my own. Well, okay, all right. No, that's part of that, right? That's why D'Artagnan's name is there, so that you for him to be tricked and for like the anyway, whatever. Whatever.
Yeah. Like I actually saw this movie when I was studying abroad in London at the time, and so I saw it there.
All right.
Okay.
Get it?
I think you went to a fancy
This
school.
was probably in between when I was traveling, to Copenhagen for a little bit. Just,
All right.
just for vacation.
That was an unnecessary detail.
Well,
We
I
didn't
actually
need to hear
went
that.
right from Copenhagen straight to Scotland and
Smile
Edinburgh,
on
and
your
then
face.
I went over to Ireland.
And inside his heart is pissing me off so much right now.
No, but it was good. No, I love this film when I saw it. It was, and that was so this was actually the year that The Dark Knight wasn't nominated. So this was like, I love The Dark Knight, and I had a huge vendetta towards the Academy Awards because it wasn't nominated. And so I like made it a mission to see all of the films that were nominated for Best Picture. And
Just because fuck them.
Yes. Because I was like, because I hate it. I was having so many arguments with people about why The Dark Knight should have been nominated. And they were like, well, how do you know? Like, have you seen all those films? And I was like, fine, I will go and watch these films just to prove a point. And I did. And Slumdog was the only film that I was like, I remember out of all of the films that I saw, I was like, okay, Slumdog was good. Like, that deserved to be nominated, and it probably deserved to win. But like The Reader came out this year, Frost Nixon,
Frost Nixon.
That's to the point I was saying. I think earlier I was trying to say is I don't think the Oscars are as much racist as they are just like classist and pretentious.
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Reader. You're gonna nominate a movie called The Reader?
Oh my God.
It's a movie.
Let me tell you something right now. The Reader is. I kind of brought this up before because Kate Winslet in that film, she won Best Actress. That's the movie she won
when she
Best
had
Actress
sex with a
for.
little kid.
She has sex with a 15-year-old boy. It's statutory rape. But like that, and she like won an Oscar for it
I'm
because
gonna
I
watch
remember
this
we
movie.
I mean, the scene's kind of don't get it twisted. The scene's kind of crazy.
And like the movie's like anyway, whatever. I'm not going to talk about The Reader. We're here to talk about Slumdog Millionaire.
Can
My
we keep
initial
talking
thoughts-
about The Reader though?
Oh my God, I hated it so much. There's just one trial scene in The Reader.
No, stop. We're not
All
talking
right,
about the
sorry. It was just like they thought it was going to be interesting, and I was like, "This isn't interesting." Nazis. Nobody cares about the Nuremberg trials, and if they did care about it, they don't care about it in the way that you're talking about it. This one woman who had sex with a 15-year-old boy. Like, what? Why is that relevant? Anyway, guys, What am I
no
talking
clue what you're
about?
talking about.
Slumdog Millionaire.
You have
It
no
was
clue what
great.
you're talking
So
about.
you
I love
watch.
it.
So you yeah.
But I was also aware of I was like, is this exploitative? Is it?
I
You know
had
what
the
I
same
mean?
thought
Like
this time.
I was like, it was hard because on the one hand, I'm like, I would not know. I just wouldn't. Right? I'm an American dude. Like I wouldn't know about some of the issues and the things that were brought up in Slumdog Millionaire if I hadn't watched this movie. Because I didn't bother to go find out. And this movie made me aware of I didn't even know there were things called Slumdog. You know what I mean? And,
Right, yeah.
I didn't even think about Hindu on Muslim violence and vice versa, right? Outside of India and Pakistan. I didn't think about it inside the country. I didn't think about certain things that the movie brought up. But then there was another part of me was but I feel like this is what happens in Hollywood. Sometimes they just get so obsessed with showing something that's hard, showing the struggle of people, and then this happy ending, and then wiping their hands of it and never looking at it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that being said, though, the way that the story was told, it was a really good movie, and I liked Dev Patel. I don't know who was nominated that. I thought Heath Ledger won that year.
But he was supporting.
Was supporting,
though.
yeah.
Was supporting,
Would Dev
though.
Patel be lead actor?
He's
I guess so.
definitely.
Yeah, he's the lead actor of the movie.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I don't know who won. I forgot who won.
I can
that
look
year.
it
Anyway,
up.
whatever.
Kosh,
Go ahead.
how you feel?
I liked the movie. I just thought it was a good movie, and it was cool to see Indians in a movie. And I remember when I was a kid, literally as close as I got to seeing Indians on film was Aladdin, which isn't Indians,
Right.
Yeah.
and it's a cartoon. And I'm not even BSing. I was so
Yeah.
excited when that movie came out because it was close enough.
Right.
Yeah.
So to me, I liked it, but the movie's super divisive amongst Indians because a lot of Indians feel like kind of what you said, which is whenever they show India, they only show the bad stuff.
Right.
So you can look at us like some basically like primates. Look how poor they are. Look how whatever
Yeah.
they are.
Oh, how
you don't
poor-
show any of the
how-
good stuff.
yeah.
To me, it's kind of like I think Indians have a weird thing where they want to bury all that stuff. Growing up, I saw a lot of
That's
that.
true.
So I was like, look, I don't mind that we let some of that stuff out so people can see. First of all, I hear a lot of Americans complaining about being poor, and I'm like, you don't know poor. You just don't know poor. Leave, and you'll see poor.
It's true.
So for my own selfish agenda, I was like, I kind of like that they see real poverty. But I was also like, I don't like that we sometimes Indians, I feel like, make such an effort to sweep this stuff under the rug that it's kind of out there. And then it's just a good movie to me. It's just like you were saying, you watched it for the first time and you were just, I don't know if enraptured is the right word, but you're just captivated by this movie and you're just so into it that objectively it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I always liked it. And I like Dev Patel and I like Frida Pinto.
Yeah.
And it was cool. And also, important thing that I've always pointed out, because I don't think this is a Hollywood movie. So one thing I've always said that really bothered me is I have never in my life seen a young, happy Indian couple on American film or television.
Yeah.
You will see an Indian, but an Indian guy will always be really into women and he can't get any, like Dodge in Van Wilder or the guy in The Big Bang Theory.
Right.
And he won't even get rejected by a brown girl ever in The Big Bang Theory. You'll get rejected by everyone on Earth, never a brown woman. Or a brown woman is supposed to marry an Indian guy, arrange a marriage, but she falls in love with someone else.
Right.
Or a brown guy is gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all the auditions I ever get. So to see this, even if it's not American, it's not Hollywood, I was like, this is great to see finally.
Right.
Just so y'all know, if y'all couldn't tell by his name, Akaash is brown.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure, so we know, we got a brown room in this thing today.
Yeah.
This movie, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. This movie pissed me off. Too.
Really?
Hold, hear me out.
Pissed you off to no end?
I'm not mad, I'm curious.
Let me tell you why. Because this movie was so good that it makes me upset.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because the thing about this movie, for instance, and I'm really focused on Dev Patel, for instance.
Got it.
I feel like Dev Patel, the movie opens and ends with Dev Patel.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
I
everything.
forgot that it opens with
Yeah,
them.
everything rides on us believing him and carry. First off, we don't see Frida Pinto maybe for 10 minutes.
She's barely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's probably the weakest part of this movie is what they do with Litika, like, later on. But it's like, Dev Patel is there. We see his childhood. We see every part. So you're wrenching with him. And the thing is, this kid led an Oscar. First off, okay.
I think
The
it was
movie-
his first movie, too, right?
Yeah, and the thing is, but this is the thing.
So he did the show Skins.
Skins.
in the UK.
And it was the original Skins. With half of the cast is now
Oh, is
making
there
movies.
another Skins?
It was an American
There's
version.
an MTV
the
one.
remake.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then also there's like 5 generations of Skins.
Yeah.
But he was on the original one with
which is the one that's super
yeah.
popular. It's the
Yeah.
reason that they even made
Yeah.
one.
Nicholas Hoult came from that one.
Okay.
So Nicholas Hoult was in it. So it's like this kid has a long history of acting. on like award-winning shows, stars in this movie. The movie wins Best Picture. The director wins Best Director.
The screenwriter.
The screenwriter. And the thing is, this kid did everything you would want to do in your career. Dev Patel hasn't led a movie since. The only movie Dev Patel has been close to leading was the one that was whitewashed, the Nickelodeon Airbender movie, where they had him play the bad guy, and they had that one unknown
but like,
Indian guy.
That was the M. Night movie, though.
It was the M. Night Shyamalan movie. And the thing is, like, he wasn't the lead.
He was the lead bad guy.
The next movie, the most famous movie he's had since then, is the Marigold Hotel, which has a lot of
What
classic...
about You always forget about Chappie.
He's not the lead in Chappie.
But he's going in order. He's going in order. So next is the second best exact.
No, first off,
but
he ain't the lead in Chappie.
No, I disagree that Chappie is the lead.
Dude.
Because Chappie is an animated character.
Can I tell you one thing?
That's like
he's third build in that movie.
Okay.
It's the robot, it's Hugh Jackman, then it's him.
Yeah, but the reason that is the reason that is right is because it's homeboy from the other two I'm gonna say it's wrong, but from the other two Neo movies.
First of all, can I say one thing?
He's Chappie. He's the voice of Chappie, and then second is Hugh Jackman because he's Hugh Jackman.
First off, we shouldn't be debating whether or not Dev Patel starred in the movie because Dev Patel was in an Oscar-winning movie that made almost $400 million.
That's fair.
We shouldn't be arguing whether this man hasn't led a TV show. You know what he was? He was the science man on Newsroom.
Yeah.
Like, we shouldn't be arguing about this dude's worth.
That's a great point.
Like, he should be a lead.
Point.
He was a great actor. He has a history. And the thing is, this movie, again, just like every other thing we talk about with brown people, shows that they don't give a shit about him. And it's like, what else could he have done?
Right, because...
What else?
When Matt Damon did...
The Great Wall.
The Great Wall.
That will be nominated for an Oscar.
What's this film with Robin Williams?
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting. I know they like co-wrote it, whatever. But the other thing is that's what blew up Matt Damon's career, right? You would think that the same thing would happen for somebody like the same with Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio was like already like in Hollywood, but like Titanic happens and wins a bunch of awards, blows up. But usually the lead actor in a film that wins a bunch of awards gets to have a lot of cachet.
Yeah,
and Dev Patel did. I mean, he got to do movies, but he never really got to be like.
You know what I think it might be? My friend brings this up. Indian friend of mine named Prashant. He's a stand-up funny dude, but he always said like. Our problem in this country, in this sense, in Hollywood sense, is that people don't look at Dev Patel, girls don't look at him and say, I want to fuck him. The stereotype of Indians here is so different than it is in so many other parts of the world. Like, I went to Singapore, I'm sorry, and we were like the hot dude. Like, we were the good-looking dudes, whatever. And then you come here, and we're these nerdy, no girls like him, whatever.
Right.
Whereas...
Because that's what television and movies have been telling us about Indian people.
Yeah, and it's true. And we don't have a guy... Now, I have a good friend, Arjun Gupta, is on The Magicians, and it's been crazy, the feedback he's been getting, not just from girls who are like, I love this dude, but from guys being like, it's so cool to see an Indian having this kind of like badass, hothead role as opposed to the standard I'm the pushover, I'm whatever.
Right.
So that's, I mean, I think it's going to change slowly, but it's also on us. We talked about Latinos earlier being underrepresented. They just went and made Univision and they're killing it and they're making insane amounts of money. So like they're doing fine.
Right.
We could go make our own projects and write our own movies.
I guess Bollywood is its own thing and they do well in India, but it's a different thing when it becomes an international kind of game. And
I had to bring up
Priyanka Chopra.
How do you say it? Priyanka.
Yeah.
Who is like, I guess my question is because she was a Bollywood actress, which now Americans are enamored with. Like, she was the only Indian person to be on stage at the Academy Awards. She has a TV show which is called Quantico, and she's in Baywatch coming out as like,
which is crazy to me.
She's the villain.
Really?
Yeah, she's going to be the villain in Baywatch. So it's a big deal. But the thing that's insane is that it's just like, for instance, she blew up on the spot, right? What happened to Frida? Like, Frida was in one movie? Did she have a movie?
Well, Priyanka Chopra is huge in Bollywood, or was huge in Bollywood. Yeah. Huge. And actually, the rumor is that she kind of got like blacklisted from Bollywood for, I don't know if it's true, this is a rumor, for sleeping with like one of the biggest Bollywood stars ever, Shah Rukh Khan. There's a rumor that he cheated on his wife with her. And then his wife was like, this bitch is not working here ever again. So then her people try to make things pop in America, and then she got a hold of me with ABC. They gave her this show, whatever.
Right.
Interesting about this show, she didn't want to be portrayed as Indian at all. This is her choice. I don't want to have any race. I don't want to have whatever.
Right.
Opening scene of the show apparently is her and a white dude having sex in a car, and she just like, I want.
She wants to be. She doesn't. Oh, well.
Which she explained it in a way that was like,
No, again, it makes sense. Like, it makes sense either side of it. I get people who are like obsessed with only doing their culture in.
that's me.
You know, yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, I'm kind of. I think we like concentrate on our blackness.
You mean the podcast called Black Men Can't Jump?
We zero in on our blackness.
But at the same time, I get the people I get the Will Smith types who are like, I don't want to be confined by this anymore. This is my whole life. I want to do something where like I can just be this hero, and you don't need to talk about me being. You know what I mean? Like,
But the problem is we shouldn't have to feel bad. Like, the thing is, like, not saying they feel bad, but you shouldn't have to feel like you can't be brown. The thing is, most people say they don't want to be their races because that race is limiting. And it's like, why should you be limited for being born?
I mean, but it's also just that whole thing of like how right now it's just this thing of like where there's majority and there's minority and there's white and there's everybody else, and like it's this thing that like I feel like
in America,
in America.
But it's not just America, because America, like when these movies, like you talk about it all the time, Bray. Like when these brown people movies go overseas, they don't do well. So it's not
And
just
that's
us.
a problem.
Right.
The rest of the world, we think the rest of the world is much more progressive than us. Like Europe is racist
Yeah,
as
they
fuck.
throw bananas on field.
Right.
on
Well,
soccer
so
fields.
then there you go. So then it's not just in America. It's that way.
True.
Right. And I don't know. I mean, it goes back to like, you know, people have been conquered by
colonialism.
Colonialism over centuries, right? So we just have this way of looking at things, and so now it's like when we're doing our movies, we're like, all right, what do I want to do? You know, and there's this. We even talk the way we talk about it on the podcast. It's like this person is just being a human. We want these people to just be humans in the movies. It doesn't have to be a thing. We talk about that a lot.
I don't feel that way.
So right, but right, but I think it's because of this idea that there is white and there's other, as opposed to there's just
Everybody.
people,
just humans.
And every person comes with their own
comes with their own
culture
thing, and so then like
background.
then that way we can be ourselves, and we can be our races, and we can be our cultures, and it won't be a thing.
Real
Right.
quick.
I think I see what you're saying.
Real quick, let's talk about Slumdog Millionaire.
Oh man, look, man. The thing is,
Wait. I'm just gonna. So just for people who haven't seen it potentially or don't know what it's about. Dev Patel's character.
And if you ain't seen it, turn the podcast off. Go watch the movie.
You should go watch the movie.
Please watch the movie, you
really,
guys.
really should.
I literally just saw it today. It is so good.
thought you were going to watch it yesterday,
Oh,
James.
man.
I was going to watch it yesterday, but I just saw it today. It was so good.
But yeah, so Dev Patel's character is a contestant on India's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
I have questions about how they play the game, by the way.
Well,
I used to watch that
It's
game.
very similar. It's very similar to the way that they played it here with Regis Philbin. And like the sounds are the same. You know, you've got the 3 lifelines: phone a friend, 50-50, pull the audience.
I cannot remember the dude's name that's the game show host, but he's actually a big Bollywood star.
He's huge,
I
and so is-
cannot believe I can't remember his name
wait,
right now.
is,
He's big, though.
So good. So yeah, and basically he's on the show, and we immediately realize that he's winning. He's been winning. He's up to the last question, and they're kind of like interrogating him. They're like, "You must have cheated because." Oh, I think like a question pops up in the beginning, right? It's like, how did a slumdog get to the last question on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah.
A, he cheated. B, he's a genius.
The guy investigating him, also a big Bollywood star, Irfan Khan. He's one of my favorite. I love that dude.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
Khan.
he's
I'm
so
glad
great.
you brought him up.
He's
He's in Jurassic World.
yes.
He is in
Anil
Jurassic
Kapoor.
World.
Anil Kapoor. Anil Kapoor is the game show
I was
host.
like, I recognize this dude. Where do I recognize this dude from? He's
Yeah.
in Jurassic World.
Whole time I was like,
doesn't
love
he
this.
die in Jurassic World?
He sure does.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Way to give that away
Sheesh.
to all the people who haven't seen it.
Yeah, and then I forgot what the third one is, but the last one is It Is Written. And so then
he lied.
Oh, he lied. He
lied.
And then It Is Written. And then so we see the whole thing. We kind of it keeps jumping back from the present to the past, and we kind of see his whole life from a kid to the middle age of his life to now him getting up to this moment. Anyway, Have you found the name?
Anil Kapoor is the
Anil
game show
Kapoor.
host.
There you go.
Kapoor.
His daughter's also a big Bollywood star. A lot of
Yeah,
nepotism
he was
in Bollywood.
Great. So
Just like Hollywood, huh?
Worse.
So yeah, we start off like after the torture thing. I mean, can we talk about should we talk about that a little bit just real quick?
Yeah.
Like, is that
The police.
like is that like real?
I don't know, to be honest. I know cops can be very crooked out in
Right.
India. Like my family, my dad's side of the family in particular is doing pretty well out there. Like my dad's uncle, I think, was really high up in the Indian government.
Yeah.
So we just kind of were good. Like
They
we
give
just
my man
kinda-
shock
Right.
treatment.
Yeah, but also like
all straight.
torturing.
and it's
that I'm gonna say is dramatized just because I feel like I'm obligated to.
Right.
As
Yeah.
an Indian dude
Hope
who
so.
doesn't know.
Yeah.
But at this point, we don't realize, right? We don't realize if this is like something that's legal that's happened. Like even though it
That's
feels,
also true.
right? Like
That's
at
a
this
great
point, we're
point.
like, what? We're like, who? You know?
Totally. Well, I don't even know. I would venture to guess that it's not legal.
Yeah.
But they did make it seem like it wasn't a big deal, and because it wasn't just that. It wasn't just what's happening there. Like it happens periodically throughout the movie, where like people who are security and law enforcement are like pretty cavalier about like beating children, and,
Or like
and-
they're not even doing something when
Yeah.
when something bad is going down nearby.
Right? Yeah, they're not paying attention, which I think is also just trying to say like nobody cares about people who are this poor.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell. I know this is a much smaller example. Like, there's not brutality at all. But my uncle was the minister of tourism in India, and my mom and I went there right before Slumdog came out, 08, 09, I believe. And we were going around all these temples that we wanted to see, and there was one temple where people were waiting for like I don't know if it was hours or days, but people were waiting a long time to pray at this temple. And then we just cut the line, which is cool, I guess. That's not a huge deal. But then there was a lady praying in the room. As she's praying, they kick her out of the room to make room for us. And I'm so out of place, and like I don't really know what's going on.
Right.
I wanted to be like, "What are y'all out of your minds? Let this woman finish what she's doing."
Yeah.
I didn't speak up. I still feel super guilty about this that to this day. But I was just so like, I don't know if it's my place to speak up, whatever.
Totally. Mm-hmm.
But like, I still think about that. I'm like, this lady just wanted to pray and had waited God knows how long. And that's a much smaller example.
Right.
But like. Yeah,
Well, I guess it's reminiscent of like with what the caste system is. I guess people's like
caste system is gone, but there's a lot of, and to be honest, it's a new country.
Yeah.
India got freedom in 1947.
Right,
So you think about the
exactly.
first 100 years of America.
Yeah.
I mean, God knows what you know what I mean. We not only do we have rampant political, not only do we have slaves,
Yeah.
we also had rampant political corruption on just a politics level. So like, there's a lot of corruption in India they're trying to get rid of now, but there's just a lot of corruption everywhere. So I know
right.
I've always heard you could just pay off cops and you're good.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is true here too. You know what I mean? Like in a certain way, it is. It's not maybe not exact. Maybe it doesn't like look exactly like that, but like
No, yeah, you
money
don't get
money
tortured. You
corrupts.
just get shot for being
Yes, you don't get to the point of torture. And
So, yeah.
also, never mind, I'm not going to say that someone else was killed today, but someone else was
Someone
killed,
was
in Baltimore
killed
today.
today.
A mom.
Did not know that.
A mom and her daughter was injured.
Can we talk about India's struggle for a
Yeah.
second?
Sorry, no, sorry.
I'm
sorry.
kidding. I'm fucking
So
around.
much- literally, I was like, I didn't want to break it up, but I'm just like, literally, this is
Wow, I did not.
every week. Every week we got a new story.
Yeah. So then, sorry, that lost my place. Now.
Yeah, this is
So anyway, we see that, and then we go to the slums, right? Like we see them playing like a cricket in an open like airfield, I guess.
Yeah.
And then they're running from the security of the airfield. They get to their mom. They get to the school.
when they get smacked in the head by the teacher.
Yeah,
like,
I mean they're getting smacked in the head. I mean,
Teachers were hit in India. Back in the day, at least. My dad used to get, he would have one teacher, everybody would show their nails at the beginning of school, and if you didn't clip your nails are too long, he'd just wrap you with a ruler. Bang.
why? What was the deal with the nails?
I don't know. Teachers were just disciplinary.
Yeah,
like that.
I mean,
That's just
I
their
know-
idea of
I mean,
Get
discipline.
your nails together. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, they did that in America too. Like my dad and my mom talks about.
Yeah, it might just be like that generation as opposed to
Right.
geography.
That. Yeah.
Oh.
But it did seem like in this film they were trying to make it seem like that stuff still happens today.
I went to a Catholic
the-
school,
at
so
least
they
in the
didn't
slums.
beat us. But they used to do like what I call psychological torture. So they make so they had red boxes, and if you got in trouble, you had to stand on this red box with your arms out, and you had to like rotate them in small circles.
Oh, that's
it couldn't
cool.
be big circles.
That's physical torture.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
but
But
the thing is,
you
like,
just hit me.
but you had to do it, and especially if there was like an aftercare, so all the grades were sectioned off. So it was like kindergarten through 4th grade.
Oh, so it's like
everyone can see you.
Embarrassment. Got it.
Yeah.
You're right.
But
That's
it couldn't
both.
be big
We had
circles,
to
though.
we had to do that.
Little circles.
We had to do that too.
Do they like make you restart if
that
you-
brought
Oh,
back
yeah.
so many
Yeah.
memories.
No, you
Is
got
that
time.
you went to Catholic school?
No, I didn't go to Catholic school, but in elementary school, that was definitely a punishment that we had.
Yeah,
And
man.
it was
The little
the worst.
circle thing?
It's little-
How
Yeah,
long?
the circle thing. I don't
remember the times, but
I don't remember, but
like,
I'm
I'll
now
go.
like I'm having flashbacks now. I blocked that.
It was terrible.
Way out of my mind.
It was terrible.
That's
Where'd you go? Where'd you grow up in?
crazy.
Ohio.
Was it suburbs or inner city? What?
So I guess the suburbs.
Mine was like a Catholic school that was in the bad area, but it was like a good school.
Yeah.
I do remember I went to Catholic school in 2nd and 3rd grade, and my Catholic school teacher was. I remember she would say like, "I'm gonna chop your fingers up and mail them to you for Christmas."
Well, that's just not okay.
It's kind of weird, right?
That's not. Hey, man.
And then she later, like years later, got in trouble for calling a kid a monkey. But,
Ooh.
and I remember my mom was like, yeah, she was crazy. I don't think she was being racist, but she always called all of you children little monkeys.
That's. Ooh. Okay.
Anyway, back to Slumdog. Slumdog. I mean, that's a slur, right?
I'd never
Yeah,
heard
Slumdog?
Slumdog before. But, I mean, listen, I've only been to India twice, so I'm not.
No,
like,
you
the
should know
expert on it
everything
at all.
about India, man.
I know it's a pressure I have. It's a pressure I feel, and I don't know anything.
Can I ask
But-
you a question? Like, this is not about the movie, but just like personally as an Indian American.
Yeah.
Like, is there? Because I know I can say as a black man, I feel like there's certain pressures that come with being
Oh, hell yeah.
a black man. Like, especially if you're the only one in a room, it's like you represent all black people. If
Right.
there's no one else, do you ever
Right.
feel like? Because I'm not gonna lie to you.
Except
I
for
feel
right
like I
now
know-
when you're.
No, but even right now, it's like you're the only Indian American in this
I'm
room.
thinking about that every word I say.
Yeah.
I'm like, Indians are going to react this way or this way or this way.
Yeah.
I have a podcast with Arjun, that guy on The Magicians, and we openly say, look, we're idiots. We don't know nearly enough about India. We say that all the time just so it relieves the pressure of, like, people
Totally.
being like, you are this, or you, like, you,
Right,
because
right,
you
right.
are. I have a joke about, like, if you ask me a math question, I better know that shit. Like, there's all kinds of pressure.
Does that affect some of the things you want to audition for? Because,
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah.
are there certain things like, I mean, I don't know culture-wise, are certain things you're like, I can't do that.
I've told I fired my agent, but I told him at the time I'm not doing any more auditions where I'm dating someone who's not Indian. Until I see an audition with an Indian, where I have an Indian love interest, I just don't have a love interest, or I don't audition for that role.
Wow. Wow. I didn't know that was such a problem.
I'm the only one who seems to notice it. But if you look back on every movie you've seen with an Indian, you're probably
Yeah.
going to be like, wow.
The problem is I can't think of that many, when it comes to
It's
movies
true.
starring Indians
Yeah, we talked about this with Sunita on the Jungle Book.
on Jungle Book, I can't think of,
because
Yeah.
she couldn't even say Dev Patel.
yeah, like I can't
I mean,
think of,
and it was not her fault. It's just like there really aren't.
We're
that
usually side characters, but we are like, I remember there was God, I can't remember his name. He's on Weeds. He's a very funny guy, but whatever. When he was on Weeds, he was a drug dealer, and then he realized he was gay. And I think it was Kumail was on that show with Mark with Zach Morris, whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
was on
Kumail's
TV.
Pakistani, but
But he was afraid to go outside. He's agoraphobic. At least that's what the audition was.
Right.
So it's always
Yeah.
some weirdo.
only the most famous
And,
Indian
Aziz.
American I can think of,
Yeah.
Aziz, and I guess Kal Penn.
Even Aziz had his own show, Masters of None. He
Right.
still was dating a white girl. I think
Yeah.
season 2, I think enough people tweeted him about, like, what's going on here, that I think season 2 he'll have an Indian girlfriend. But I was just like,
Got
this was our chance to finally put that out there.
right.
I mean, it wasn't in whatever. He didn't want to do it. That's fine.
Yeah, he was
But-
trying to do something else, which again, it's hard because then same thing, right? He has all this responsibility,
Yeah.
you know,
And
for
it
every
shouldn't
episode.
just be him, but it is him with his own show.
Yeah. So I mean, that. Do you want to talk about that scene, the poop scene?
Oh, well, my thing is, it's interesting to me because it's like the kid. All right, let's just talk about these kid actors.
As we're talking about this movie, I see why so many Indians hate it. To be honest with you, as I'm going through it, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm starting to feel a way about it.
No, you know what it is though. You know what it
It's
is. It's like
true.
watching it. I was like, this movie. I felt at the very end of it bad that I liked it, and I never felt that way for a movie. I was like, first off, I realized I owned it on DVD, and I talked to I used to live in LA, and I remember seeing this movie in LA 2 months before it came out because it was like LA and New York. You know, you get the
Screeners or-
pre-screeners and
okay.
stuff, and then it blew up. So I remember in LA, it was in the theaters from October until May of the next year. It was just in it. Like, it was just there. And it's funny because thinking about certain things, knowing that Danny Boyle did this movie, and I think the writer was also, I'm gonna double check. I think the writer was also white.
I think it's based on a book, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what it said in the movie.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
based
the
on-
writer. So the writer is also white. And then let me see the
And the book
novel.
is not called Slumdog Millionaire.
No, it doesn't say. But the thing is, like, I remember watching it, and like the kids, I remember these
Is that
kids
the,
being
is that the
great.
author's name? Akaash?
Yeah.
That's an Indian. That dude Indian.
Oh, so it's based on the book. So he wrote the book,
Okay.
and then it was adapted by white people.
Yeah,
white people
exactly.
can't. And I'm not saying white people can't adapt brown stories, but this story is very specific to a region
Yes.
and a timeline. And it would have been
Simon
nice.
Beaufoy is the screenwriter.
Yeah, it just-
he's English.
It's amazing that out of everything else they partnered with in India, you didn't partner with the writer or even get, because like this is a novel by, you didn't get a co-screenplay writer from, anyway, okay. My point is like you had these young actors, right? And I'm always going to bring up this kid from
I'm sorry,
the
real
room.
quick. It says second director is Loveleen Tandon, I think. That's Loveleen sounds like an Indian name also. Yeah, she's Indian.
Yeah, basically she did second team, I believe.
Okay.
She did the second team.
Okay.
Right, Christian Colson is the main producer.
But it's like these kids, for instance, and I will bring these kids up nonstop. Like for instance, because the kid in the room, our new Spider-Man was a kid actor.
Yeah.
There's so many young white male actors who do these movies, these indie pictures, and they become like the new hot thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the kids,
how it
especially
works.
the kids in the mid age. Sorry to skip ahead. The middle age.
Both of them were great, right? The
Great
little
actors.
kids and the
Yeah.
middle-aged kids. Like those actors were incredible. I think actually now that we're talking about that, I remember that was what struck me the most about watching
These
this
kids were
film.
great.
Yeah.
Was that I actually liked them? I think I liked them more than even I liked Dev Patel.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
did
when y'all
too.
said Dev Patel carried the movie. I was like, his character carried the movie. And I guess
Right.
I didn't think about how good he was, but yeah, I felt the same way as you. The kids were.
Yeah,
the kids were
I remember
great.
being so blown away, and like we've talked about those kids like Jacob Tremblay and
Where are these kids? I mean, they may be making movies in India,
yeah.
which is true.
I mean, are
but
they?
my thing, what I'm simply saying is
I
that
love
these kids were so good. They to me should have had a role in some American film, like whether or not the parents would allow it or not, I don't know. But my thing is, I haven't seen four of those least. No, including the two young girls
But
either.
that's the whole thing, right? Like, are there American films that have...
They're kids.
Yeah.
You can put kids in a movie. Like to me, it's like you shouldn't have to. No, I'm saying you shouldn't have to like have a
But where
specific
do you-
role for.
Well, from teenage, this movie came out 7 years ago now.
Yeah.
So from
Right,
the teenagers
yeah,
are growing
yeah,
up
yeah,
now. They could be
yeah.
acting. They could be doing their thing. But there are, to be honest, I don't know that South Asians are underrepresented relative to their population in the U.S. And I always get in this debate with my friend Arjun about, like, he's like, he always says, I just look at it by numbers. And I do. But we are 1% of the population. So when we complain, there's a lot of, like, Indians out there. I see a lot of Indian stand-ups doing it. Like, there's a couple who are getting pretty popular of, like,
Yeah.
Indians they, like, try to almost co-opt the black struggle and act like Indians are a part of it. And to me, it's like, nah, South Asians ain't a part of that.
I think to me it's to me though it is more about like the stereotypes that persist, because there is this like we were saying, this one kind of like nerdy Indians
There's an
are
archetype,
nerdy.
yeah.
They're very good at math, or like
Accent.
they
Always
own like a
accent.
Quickie Mart, right?
Yeah.
Like that's one of the most famous Indian characters is from The Simpsons. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like people are very they like making it's like one of the go-to racist accents. I feel like.
Yeah, but nobody's that good at it. I actually
nobody's good
respect
at
a
it.
good Indian accent. I'll
Right.
laugh at it because it'll be good to me. Most of the time, it's like, it's just so not good, I can't laugh.
Exactly. So much so that it's crazy. What are you both looking up right now?
Okay,
looking up-
so
I'm actually-
yeah, we
oh,
were
you
talking
got
about... We were just talking about the accent.
Just for the listener, like there's
I
two
just-
people here with laptops and
I-
just furiously typing.
No, I just started thinking about Karan Sony, who's in Deadpool and in Ghostbusters, the new
My dude,
I-
Karan Sony
so I
is
went in-
taking
Who is
jobs
that?
away from me.
So I went in for that audition for
Okay.
Deadpool, and the original. Now they fixed it when it finally came out, but the original
Yeah.
script, it was very clear they were making fun of the fact that this character was Indian.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
she's gonna make a very, the woman that he's in love with. Originally, it was an arranged marriage. There was no cheating brother or whatever,
Right.
and it was just like, oh, this is my future whatever. I'm gonna marry. She's gonna make a very agreeable bride. And like,
Wow.
that's just something you say when arranged marriages is like, if it was a person, it would be, or if it was like a live thing, it would be a monkey in a cage that you're just throwing rocks at.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
and there was a couple other little jokes. And then I did it once, and my accent, I'm going to be honest, is good to someone who's not Indian. But I think if you're Indian, I get very self-conscious. Like, I want to be... Because I have so many Indian not actor friends who are amazing and hilarious with their accents that, like, I'm not that good.
And they ask
so
you to
I don't
do an
wanna,
accent.
Well, I feel kind of uncomfortable doing it, but I'll do it if it's just a funny character doing an accent. But the jokes were all about my culture.
Yeah.
So, like, even Kunal Nair on Big Bang Theory, I don't find his character necessarily racist because he has an accent. He's a guy from India. Isn't that? If he said if he talked American, it'd be weird. But that one, I was like, I'm not gonna do an accent for this role specifically because I'm gonna see if they really just want to laugh at this Indian or this guy who is Indian and then is weird, whatever. Right. So I do it once they have the accent. They're like, that was really good. We would really like for you to do it with an accent. Are you sure you can't do one? Because I just pretended I couldn't do one. I was like, no, I can't. Sorry. And they're like, all right, cool. Have me do one more time. They said, really funny, but whatever. But I knew immediately I'm not going to get it.
Because you didn't do the accent.
Because they wanted it to be about this guy being Indian and we laugh at him. And that's the kind of stuff that bothers me.
See, that really bothers me. Yeah. Like, I don't... And here's the thing, and it sucks because we're in the comedy field, right? Comedy is supposed to be a little bit ahead of everything else, too. Like, we're supposed... Because we're breaking things down, we're looking at stuff, and it's like... I understand, like, there are racist jokes and things like that, but, like...
Which I love. I love racist jokes. That's my whole act.
Exactly. Like, there's a way to do it in which you're not just disrespecting.
Yeah.
Right.
You're pointing things out, and we're trying to be real about stuff. But like, when movies constantly make, it's not just Indians, right? Like the Indians, like Chinese, like they're. It's like every time you see this person, especially in comedy, they have to have an accent because it's just funnier with an accent. And it's like, but why?
Right.
Like,
it's like, is it funnier with
what
an
are we
accent
trying to
because,
say?
Right. Like, did you write a funny character or are you like...
Is it only funny
Or is it
because of the
only
person?
funny because you want to
Exactly.
make fun of
And
Indians?
that's what... Like, Russell Peters is an Indian comic who I actually really respect. And he is the most famous comedian in the world because, to be honest, it just sounds funny to hear someone speaking English all these different ways. But his jokes aren't offensive. Like, his accent is specifically, I think, a Hong Kong... It's like specific to one very specific place. And people are never offended by it.
Right.
It's like, do you know anything about these people?
And he doesn't. And he also like talks like he talks in his regular accent too.
Yeah.
Like he does that when he's doing the thing.
As long as I don't feel like you're making fun of my culture. Again, I don't think Kunal Nair's accent on The Big Bang Theory is offensive.
Yeah.
He's a guy from India. He's smart. Whatever. He got an accent. My parents have an accent. For me to just look at any role with an accent and be like, "This is racist," no, it's not. My parents have an accent. It's beautiful to me. So I'll do it.
Right.
I just want to make sure this guy is funny, independent of his culture and his accent.
Yes.
Yeah.
You shouldn't even have to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's like when I'm thinking about Deadpool, it's like that character didn't need an accent. You know what I'm saying?
It happens all the time.
It shouldn't. My thing is, I think about it right now. He was a cab driver.
Sometimes it happens where it's not. There's literally nothing funny about. Like, there's not even a funny exchange that happens. They just have the person who's at the 7-Eleven speaking in an accent.
But I don't necessarily have a problem with that because there is a reality to that.
Yeah,
I don't. When I see a
was a
taxi
joke.
driver without an accent in real life, in reality, I'm like, yo, this guy don't got no accent.
Right.
So I don't mind that. And they switched it enough that like now he's this love-stricken guy whose brother took his girl, and then he's a psychopath.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and that's and you bring up the fact that there is a part of it is based off of something in reality,
and
right?
none of us
Like,
want to acknowledge that, but it's true.
But that's specifically why I bring him up because his character in that is he's a cab driver in Deadpool and he's a delivery person in Ghostbusters and when he first appears in Ghostbusters I was like, oh, is it? Wait, that's the same. First of all, it's the same guy, right? And then second, it's like, oh wait, like. Why does it have to be that
an accent in that movie?
And then in Ghostbusters, it's not like.
Does he have this accent?
I don't think he has.
No, he's
it,
in the
or it's
Verizon
like,
commercials, and he has a very clearly he's an American kid.
Yeah. And if he has an accent in Ghostbusters, it's like
First
light
off,
though.
He's the main
Right.
character in the Yahoo series. What is it called?
The one about the computer people?
Yeah, with Neil Casey.
Yeah. I forgot what that thing is called. But yeah, in Ghostbusters, first off, I can't. Like when I think about
We're talking about every movie but
no, I'm gonna get to it. But this is the thing I've noticed.
I'm gonna get to it.
I'm gonna get to it. But this is the thing I've noticed, especially when it comes to like this new form of like when I think of like the Kristen Wiggs, the Melissa McCarthy's, like even the Tina Fey's, who I love, admire. When it comes to people of color, if you're in one of their shows or series, it's a good chance you're playing a stereotype. Like when I think about Kimmy Schmidt, for instance. My representation is an Asian man. And we both go along. Like we're very like keyed in on like certain things I don't want to do because of my race. And kind of what you said, if this is offensive to my race. When I think of like Kimmy Schmidt, like the love interest in the first season was an Asian man who had an accent, who couldn't speak English. That was the Asian guy on the show, right? When I think of sisters, like the person Greta Lee, who we know, she's an American, but she plays the woman who does their feet and has an accent. When I think of this guy in Ghostbusters, who is one of the brown people in the movie, he has an accent and it doesn't need to exist. And it's like all we keep doing is the same thing over and over, even with these people that we all admire, and it's like it's slipping through the cracks. TV shows, movies, it just keeps slipping through the cracks, and like no one's being held accountable for it. I mean, listen, think of Trainwreck. Trainwreck. I mean, the only brown person in Trainwreck. Wait, LeBron, maybe.
Yeah, LeBron
James is like,
really?
like
superstar LeBron.
It's
James.
like all these people who are asking and begging for equality,
NBA champion,
like
LeBron
all
James.
this stuff. Is that equality equal? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like I'm saying.
So yeah, we didn't talk about the poop scene. Basically, this little kid, he gets locked in. His brother, who's like has a little bit of he's maybe
I love
a
how
sociopath.
committed you are to explaining this
You know,
movie.
I know.
I try.
I appreciate that.
I try to stay. One person has to.
I truly believe if you haven't seen this movie, you're an idiot.
Yeah, you are an idiot. But
I'm so
but
glad
I think people who have seen the movie like to.
I just made it.
I think people who have seen the movie like to relive certain moments, and this is a very strong, powerful moment where his brother like kind of locks him in because he was pooping too long and lost the customer, and this very huge Bollywood actor is coming down.
Amitabh Bachchan, who is in reality probably the biggest star in Bollywood history. We haven't seen a star in Hollywood that big ever.
Got it.
As the guy.
Amitabh Bachchan, he's enormous.
Wow. So so it's somebody who's like he's bigger than Tom Cruise is here.
It's not even close.
Wow, that's
not
crazy.
even close.
So that was a real. The
They didn't
character
show
was
him,
real.
but it's based on the. They didn't show Amitabh Bachchan because he wasn't in the movie, but he's a real Bollywood mega star.
Right.
I cannot put mega in all caps big
Yeah.
enough.
Right.
Wow.
Right. So big. He's there. Everybody's just like screaming, like, you know, whatever. The kid wants so badly to see him that he just jumps down into like, it's kind of like a porta potty situation where he's like jumps down into like the, you know, shithole.
There are not a ton of toilets in India.
Yeah.
And in this place in particular, because they're from one of the poor slums in Mumbai. I can't remember the name. But you just shit in a hole above, basically.
That's what it is.
A river of shit. So the guy jumps into the river.
Yeah. And he's just literally head to toe covered in it, but keeps the picture up. So the picture doesn't have
Picture's clean.
He runs through these and he gets to the actor, he gives him the picture, and he signs it, which is really
And then
nice.
the brother sells it.
Oh, immediately.
Yeah.
The brother
He
immediately sells it. Immediately. And then keeps the money.
And it's
Yeah, the brother is pretty cruel throughout this
from
movie.
the beginning
like
of the movie.
looking out for him a little bit, but then also like most of the time just like
He only looked out for him so he could shit on him. Like, I hate
Yeah.
to say shit, but it's like he only looks out for him so like
that's
he's
true.
the one
It's
who
like a
does the
power
bad
thing.
stuff.
Like I own you. Somebody else can't mess with you because I'm the one who messes with you.
Can I just say my favorite, not my favorite, but the scene that stayed with me the most, and
Yeah.
it involves this brother, the teenage years of them.
Yes.
And it's because of what you just said.
I
Like
think I know what you're going to say.
the brother at one point when he get
kills.
Lithika back. Yes, he kills the bad guy. I guess or like what would you call that guy? The like abductor. Like what is like? What do you
Yeah,
call it?
like the
He
like a
abducts
Peter Piper
kids.
kind of dude.
Yeah, so they get into this
Pied
thing.
Piper kind of dude.
Yeah, they get into this thing where like people abduct kids. They like blind the kids to give them to like sell
Basically,
money.
yeah,
and
to
stuff.
sell to beg.
Yeah, but he has the gun. The older
They
brother,
blind kids to make them
Salim
matter.
has the gun, and literally, they get the love of his life. They get the love of his life.
Yeah, this
back.
kid, he clearly loves this little girl. They
And who-
lost her once.
Yeah, and who the bad guy makes sure that everyone knows is a virgin. He's like, do you know how much money this little virgin is worth?
Yeah.
He says it a couple of times.
Yep.
The brother comes back drunk with a gun, kicks. Oh, what is Dev's character's name in this thing?
Jamal.
Jamal kicks Jamal out and basically assaults the love of his life.
Yeah.
Right.
Rapes her.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's insane to me. One, because
He never saw them after that.
never saw him, never saw him again.
I remember thinking that scene was unnecessary.
I thought it was.
Well, I don't know if it was unnecessary.
Well, I understand you. I understand they're trying to show the. I guess they're trying to make the brothers'
redemption
even stronger. I
Wait,
guess.
but I don't know. Like, I didn't even feel like
I was
it didn't
nervous.
even feel like a redemption at the end for me.
It was interesting
It
because
did for me weirdly.
it did
I
because he
think it
was
worked.
so bad.
It
he
worked
was so
because
bad.
he did finally get her back for him.
Yeah.
And then he also like committed suicide essentially.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of like he punished himself and like did this one thing where he got her back.
Well,
it didn't redeem him enough to save him, which he didn't get saved, right? Because he dies.
Well,
Right.
the thing about him is like for some reason I don't even think about Jamal or Salim in that scene. I just think about because
Well, yeah, that's
she
true.
doesn't get like when she was a kid. You saw why they were together. You saw how much she cared about Jamal. Even at that brief scene, you showed how much she was so happy to see him. But then when Frida Pinto comes in and she's older, she doesn't. She's just a device.
Oh,
at that
100%.
point.
She's never a real character in this.
She has a
Yeah.
black eye when we first see her. She gets cut in the face in the very next sequence, and it's like at the end. I mean, I guess she's rescuing him or running towards him, but it's like
Nah.
she. How often does she talk?
She barely talks.
She's very much.
like
Yes,
that
the
character-
biggest scene that
she's-
they have is the scene where he comes to
The house.
to the house, and he's like the dishwasher, and that's like the
and
most.
then even
that
in that, they say she only says a few lines.
yeah,
It's like that scene. To me, that scene represented a misconnect with, and I'm not blaming this on the writer. Yep, I'm blaming this on the writer. I think
yeah. Because
because
think about it, it's based on a novel.
Yeah.
And the story is very male centric.
It's like what happened to
Yeah.
this? And we see her very early on too. It's not like she's later on. The whole movie is about her. The whole point of him getting
Well, the
on
whole-
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is because she watches.
Well, the
I
whole
mean,
movie is
and
about
like-
her only in the sense that it's about Jamal's
Yes.
love.
Right.
Of her.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and that's I think probably why I didn't key into this as much, only because it felt like so much of her was a vision in Jamal's head. You know, like
That's
it's just like
true.
a memory of
It's
her
true
and
because-
like a yeah.
Well, because there's
What,
that
because
one
like an
part where
idea,
his
you
with the
mean?
brother.
Yeah.
What's the brother's name? Salim.
Salim.
Where Salim's like, you don't even know her, and I was like, it's true, bro. You don't know her.
They had
You don't
one
know
genuine
her.
conversation.
You had-
I
you
think
knew her
the
when she was a little
idea-
kid.
To that point, that
Yeah.
actually made me think of this. The idea of this movie is destiny. The beginning.
That's
it was
true.
written.
Yep, that's
Right.
So you don't know her. The point is, I don't know her, and y'all don't have to know her. You just need to know this is written. This is
right,
destiny.
yeah.
We're supposed. We're
Jamal
meant
and
to be
Latika
together.
belong together.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fairy tale.
But I guess my thing
It's
is like
it is a fairy tale.
my thing is Jamal has a through line.
Mm-hmm.
Salim has a through line. I mean, to be truthfully honest, I don't remember the actor's name, but who plays the host goes from questioning Jamal because he clearly gets him tortured.
Anil Kapoor.
Neil Kapoor to respecting him towards the end because he didn't cheat.
Right.
The cop who literally opens up torturing. The good cop ends up
Yeah.
torturing Jamal, and at a certain point, he's asking, "What happened to her?"
Yeah,
like he cares.
Getting
Yeah,
invested
yeah.
into the story.
What the
Well, that's the thing is like it's very so it is a fairy tale, and just like a lot of fairy tales, they're very male dominated. So much so that it's like the prince is rescuing the princess, right? But the princess's only job is to be the love interest of the prince, and we
Yeah.
don't really. She doesn't have to prove herself. It's just that she's beautiful. That's her worth. Her value comes from her beauty, and not.
Nah, Letika's value wasn't necessarily in her beauty. Letika was like, the only guy who loved him.
the only
Yeah.
girl. Yeah,
I mean, the only
Yeah.
girl who loved him. in
Well,
his life.
the only girl
I'm
he
just
saw.
saying-
outside of his mom who
I'm
got
just
killed.
saying, when they ask like why do you when basically it's like why do you love her like
The
is
most
she
beautiful
must
girl.
be so beautiful, and he's like she's the most beautiful girl in the world.
yeah, he does.
Like like dead like looks in his eyes like
But
that's
you know
the-
what? But to that again, at the end of the movie, in this scene, I literally just thought about got a little emotional is when he sees her and she's got that scar.
Yeah,
and the
he's,
first thing he
and
does is kisses the scar.
kisses the scar.
So it's not
Totally.
about beauty in an objective sense or like I'm
Right.
objectifying her. It's this girl is beautiful.
No, yeah, and
because
we
I-
are supposed to believe his love is pure. And
Also, in that moment, though, what I really love is he kisses her, and then everything rewinds. Like it just rewinds to like when
Yeah.
he saw her at
Yeah.
the when he saw her accept his
chills.
offer. You know, like
Right.
to, and it's like
it rewinds to what? What part is this?
it rewinds to it. So when he kisses her scar, we see it rewinding from the moment where she gets the scar to the moment that she was there to meet him
fine.
at
Yeah.
the train.
Right.
And it's beautiful. It's
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
that movie
great.
is beautiful. It's
yeah,
just-
because they don't
it's
care.
beautiful.
Like, I mean, it's a nice moment where he calls her. There's the last question. You know, he uses the phone a friend. He calls his brother, but his brother has given the phone to
Ugh.
to her, and so she picks up.
Like,
and
he
she's
knew. He knew.
That's the only number he
She's
knew.
like, and he hears her voice. Is that really you? Yep. Ask the question, Jamal. He asks the question. She's like, I don't know. And he's like,
He's
great.
like, but where
me
are you?
neither.
And she's like, I'm safe.
Oh, where are you? I'm safe. And they're both as happy as could be. Neither of them care anything about the money.
Yeah.
And he just says that, and he just gets the money anyway.
Yeah, which is, yeah, man. You know, this movie, I mean, it has faults, but I liked it a lot, man.
And then, so the other thing that maybe the last thing we can talk about is like it does end with like a which I'm told is a very Bollywood thing.
A dance number.
It's the dance number,
Yeah.
right? And I know people were obsessed with that.
I thought
all
that
of a
was
sudden
like a
people
tip
are
of
like
the cap.
tip of the cap to Bollywood, right?
Yeah.
And I think so too.
Okay.
To the point though where it became like it became one of those like American obsessions of like, oh, like this is a thing, like we do love it.
They do it in TV shows right now.
And so they kind of like, you know,
New Girl, they did
little
it.
cultural appropriation happens after that.
Oh.
On New Girl, sorry to do a spoiler, but like the Indian woman on that show,
The wedding, right?
the Indian woman on the show is dating a white guy, and at the wedding, he wants to
course.
make it authentic. So in order to make it authentic, they hire dancers to do a big Bollywood dance number. And all of the cast joins in to make it like, we're all together.
Right. Which like see these are moments where I'm like oh, it's cool.
Annoying.
It's cool that we're like celebrating somebody else's culture, but then it always sometimes feels a little weird.
And I'm not a dude that's easily offended. I'm not offended by that, but it's like just go to one Indian wedding. You don't hire people. Family members do dances. I dance at every wedding that my friend gets. It's just a thing you do. It's weird. You parade all the kids up there and they just do a dance. But we all just start doing it, and now it's just become what you expect and what you know.
Yeah.
But like to me, it's like if one person, and I think the girl who plays Cece's, Hannah Simone, is half Indian.
Yeah, she is half
She's probably been to an Indian wedding. She could just be like, "Hey, no, it's on." To me, it's on her to be like, "Hey, no, you could just have us do a dance for them. You don't gotta hire people."
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
that's
look,
the thing. It's like it's a fetish. It's like that's the thing about cultural appropriation because I still feel weird about what that is, but like I think that's what pisses people off sometimes. There's a little bit of fetishizing, like, oh, like isn't this cool? This weird, like exotic thing that's happening. Like let's do that, and like not really understand any of the context around it or care about it. You know,
Because it doesn't matter. It looks cool.
but anyway, so that's the movie.
Yeah.
Just watch it. It's entertaining.
It's a
And this is
great
how I
watch.
feel about
It's so
Bollywood.
good.
I used to hate Bollywood when I was a kid, and then when I got older, I don't know if this is true or not, but I kind of, in my mind, I was like, Bollywood movies, and they've changed a lot in the last 10 years, probably 5 years, like drastically. Like you barely see the songs and dances anymore. Whereas before, every movie I saw was a musical.
Right.
But I used to think about it like, they don't want to see reality in countries like India and where Bollywood is huge. Bollywood is huge all over Africa, all over the Middle East. They don't want to see reality. Reality sucks.
Right.
We in America want reality because, to be honest, relatively speaking, our reality is great.
Yeah, sure.
So they want bright colors, pretty people.
Yeah.
Everything is happy at the end,
Oh my
whatever.
God.
Dance numbers. And then when you accept that and you're like, all right, leave all that aside and just have fun.
Yeah.
Enjoy a fun movie. Then Bollywood got fun for me. And that's how I feel about Slumdog.
Yep.
So it's a break. That's
Just
a good
have
point.
fun.
It's a break from reality, and if your reality isn't the best,
Yeah.
That's the thing. Is
It's
that
like you
that's
want
why
that.
we the Americans we like we're hungry for like the pain
the
and the
pain,
suffering,
sad.
Yeah.
and then but also we want the happy ending too, so we don't feel too bad about ourselves.
Yeah,
Yep.
right.
yeah, like we
You
don't
know
want
what
to
I
do
mean?
that.
And then but we like but yeah, that's so interesting.
That's my theory
I like
as to
that.
why
No, I
Bollywood
like that
movies are
theory.
always so happy.
I had a similar take on like that's why The Walking Dead is so popular because we're so well off here that we're like we fantasize about
Right.
being in a zombie apocalypse because
Yeah.
like can you imagine not like having to wake up and food isn't there?
Right.
It's like oh you mean like people's lives,
Yeah.
like real lives where
Yeah.
they're surrounded by violence and starvation. Anyway, so what are we doing? Are you doing the swirl or?
Man, you know what? I've been thinking about a swirl because it's so interesting you bring up like wanting to see an Indian with an Indian. I found most of the time when there's a lead person of color that they never have a white love interest unless it's about their race. It's never just like two humans falling in love. And in this movie, because this movie's a love story, I kind of feel awkward and weird about doing a swirl because the love, like this movie is based on a love story. It's like it just feels like unnatural to force one in for Jamal.
Wait, so you're saying what white co-star could he have been with?
Yeah. But it's like,
Like
it feels
just like appeared in the movie.
but I don't think, and I never do this, but I feel like Jamal doesn't need one because his love is the love of the movie. But
I agree.
Salim, I feel like
God.
no. Hear me out. I think it actually fits for his
Salim
character.
need a black woman.
Oh,
Hear me out.
yes.
But Salim is so obsessed with like
Yes.
money and like living this high life. And even I can't remember the drug lord's name that they work for. All of his women at the end scene are all very fair skinned, which I feel like is because it's like that.
No,
thing
that's
of
a
like,
big Bollywood thing.
Oh,
Light
is it?
skin is huge in the Indian culture. And again, probably shifting. But in our generation, at least growing up with parents who moved from India in like the 60s, 70s, light skin is huge. I used to be a really fat kid. No Indian parents thought I was ugly because I was light skinned. I had green eyes. I had white people features. Light skin
That's my
is
point.
huge.
And I think it's because
I can't
of
even
those
front.
white
My
people
girl's super
features.
light skinned.
Oh, really? Is it a thing? Because I know, in the black community, a lot of
Light-skinned
people
girls
today,
are, yeah.
like we're recording this podcast on National Light Skin Day. I learned that.
I didn't.
this
Today is
morning.
National Light
I learned
Skin
that
Day?
this morning.
How I
That's
feel
Light
about
skinned dudes need
Did you
a
know
day.
about it?
I did not know that was a thing.
Oh.
I don't think we need a day. I don't know why that's a day.
I only know about that. 'cause I-
Hey, Bray.
Congratulations to me,
Congratulations.
brother. No, but based on that, because I feel like it is the white features is the reason why that drug lord has those type of women. I feel like once we see once Jamal comes back and they're adults and he meets his brother, he can meet Salim and his girlfriend Susie. You know what I'm saying? Susie is here because she's a developer, right? She's helping them make the new building because they're trying to make buildings. So like Susie's there and he's like, oh, this is all going to be ours. You know, we're the center, we're the Mecca, we're the center of the world. And he has Susie and he's like, who is this? And he's like, oh, this is my girlfriend. And next thing you know, he's like, shut up, Jamal. You don't know anything about women or love. And he just like kisses Susie in the mouth real deeply. You know what I'm saying?
So Susie is like an American or what?
She's like an American. I mean, we don't know where she's from.
Got it.
We don't know because these in these movies, well, obviously, like clearly Frida Pinto doesn't talk, so Susie probably just says hello with a nod because clearly Frida Pinto said 10 words. Okay, my point is that Salim's character would have had a white girlfriend in this movie because I feel like that's what he would. I feel like legitimately that's what that character would do. I mean,
Cool.
Whether they kick when they say Jamal get out of here, it's not because the gangster's coming up.
Right.
It's because they got to have quality time
Yeah.
together.
No, yeah, totally. We spent too much time on this. So
Wow! Wow!
no,
Touche.
Cool. All right, it's time for the cause.
Yeah, let's do
It's
this.
time for the calls.
That's it. You don't have no bit. You want?
No, I got no bit.
How come when you?
But Jurassic World, though, real quick, because Khan is
okay.
in it. Okay, so I just wanted to ask.
gonna
real
give you
quick, is that a good?
I'm
movie?
gonna give you a couple of points. That was a good pull.
What's
That was a good pull. That's not a good movie.
No,
right,
come
let's
on,
move
but it's,
on.
I love that movie.
Oh.
Wait, you really like Jurassic?
Yes,
I love that movie.
Thank you.
Like this is not a bit.
I love
He's
that.
not talking about Jurassic Park. You know what I'm saying?
about
He's
Jurassic
Jurassic
new one.
Park is better. Jurassic World is fun.
Thank you,
Can
Akaash.
we just
Yes.
stop? That's what I'm saying. Just have fun.
Oh my God.
Sometimes that
Just
movie.
have fun. Thank you.
we can have fun and do it smart. Jurassic Park was fun.
And good.
We can have fun and do a smart. I don't ever laugh at smart.
All right.
I watched episodes of 30 Rock and never laughed once. You know what made me laugh?
Yeah.
Fresh Prince.
You know what?
You know what made me laugh? Friends.
You know what? You know what?
I mean-
I completely agree with you on that.
Yes. I
mean-
I do not like 30 Rock.
I understand
mean-
Louis C.K. is one of the greatest comedians of all time. I don't laugh when I watch it. I'm not watching it.
I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah. I
you're
consider
right.
this a
With you
win.
there.
I consider this a win for me.
All
I
right.
hate this
all right.
so much.
Real quick, this has been a long episode. Thank you for hanging with us. The Cause, we rate films not based on how well we think they were critically, but whether or not they helped the cause of more leading people of color in film. So we kind of have to cast our, opinions about Slumdog to the side.
Yeah.
Think about it. Did this help get more leading, Indian actors in movies? Did it do it? Did it do the thing? So we either give it a black fist, meaning fully help the cause, a white palm, meaning it was so-so, or nothing. Are you guys ready?
yep.
Yeah.
Here we go. Kind of 3.
Ooh.
1, 2, 3, or 3, 2, 1.
I'm gonna 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Ready? I'm closing my eyes. I don't know what I'm doing right now. All right, here we go.
Goodbye.
3, 2, 1.
I'm throwing it.
Oh, I love it.
I thought
This is
you were
good.
going to throw
glad.
it.
Actually, glad.
Listen,
We're
I'm going
glad.
to be honest. We can think what we want to about this movie, but
Uh-oh.
there are no Indians, I don't think, on film or TV without this movie. I don't think we make it. I'm not saying zero, but I don't think we really make it like
point.
that. That and Aziz, I'm sure, did a lot. But this movie did. This is, I'm talking
a black fist.
I'm talking 1968. Two black fists in the air, defiantly.
See, I didn't know what
The rest of us gave it a white palm.
Yeah, Akaash gave it a fist. We all gave it a white palm.
No.
I didn't know what to do. Akash, you want to go first on why you?
Well, he kind of
just did.
was spitting the truth. There.
I'll go next. I gave it a palm because I didn't know how to feel about it. Like I thought, like I remember loving this movie. I remember even watching it. I mean, I own it. I saw it in theaters like 2 times, and I remember watching it again and realizing this movie I liked a lot. Yeah. But as a person who, I'm not that familiar with Indian culture, I wasn't sure what things were accurate. I didn't know how to feel about like even like the tip of the hat for the Bollywood dance number. I didn't know if that was kind of okay. I wasn't fully on board after watching it again, like how Frida Pinto was like portrayed. But I do agree with Akaash. The reason I gave it nothing is because I didn't give it nothing is because I feel like you wouldn't have Dev Patel on TV. Like, yeah, Frida Pinto, I think she starred in like one movie right after this. I don't remember what it was.
She was in
a couple Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, I remember she was like around, and I feel like, yeah, we wouldn't have any of the brown people, Indian people on TV if it wasn't for this movie. And the thing is, I was looking up, Bray, to answer your question from earlier, I was looking up the acceptance speech when this movie won Best Picture, and they had all the kids were there. Like all the ages, like the crew was there, and there were so many brown people on that stage. I was like, that was just a beautiful moment. And the thing is, I think that this movie can help that happen again. It's just, you know, I just feel very weird about it being like a white director and a white writer.
You know what I worry that y'all are doing? What? Y'all ever have white people get so into the black cause and this is racist and that racist that you're like, relax, man.
No, I think you're right.
I worry that
I think you're right.
I
think you're right.
I'm very slow to get offended, so maybe I'm an idiot or whatever.
Well, no, it's not even about being offended. It's just about, to me, it's like, I can't tell. I can't. Because we're dissecting it, I'm just trying to figure out, does it help in the long run?
Here, the reason I gave it a white palm is because all the things you said are true, and I think it's hard because like sometimes we don't. Sometimes we're judging the film based on what the film did, and sometimes I'm judging it based on what Hollywood does in the reaction to the film, which is kind of unfair. Like the film really kind of gets a black fist because it hired all these Indian actors who wouldn't have careers, if it wasn't for this movie. It made a crack load of money. It won Best Picture, got a bunch of Americans and other people internationally to see a film that was Indian centric and focused and dealt with good things and bad things. You know what I mean? But like it just showed people in a positive light too. But the thing is that Hollywood turned around and gave pretty much, in my opinion, it gave all the credit to the white people who were attached to the film. It's reminiscent to me of like, even though it's not exactly the same, but it's kind of like this year, you know what I mean? Like Straight Outta Compton, like the only thing that gets nominated are the writers who are white. Where you have a film that's about a bunch of black people.
They got nominated for a true story?
Yeah. They got nominated for screenplay, but the director who's black didn't get nominated. None of the actors get nominated. The movie itself doesn't get nominated. It's like that when that kind of thing happens, I'm like, do you guys understand what you're doing? Now, I don't want this podcast to be for people to just go racist, because I'm glad that you brought that up, because like it's true. We don't want to train people. I am sensitive to that. I don't want to train people to just always think that everything is racist.
Hey, I'm not about that. Everything is racist.
But I do want people to realize like,
what does that mean?
Sometimes things happen because we don't realize that they're happening and we just let them. It's that unconscious bias that we're talking about at the beginning of the show. It's like and I think one of those things is like, hey, do we realize like this movie made a bunch of money and it doesn't mean that these actors can only do that film? Like for some reason we always associate that. We're like, oh, so that person can only do this Indian thing. Like, oh, this Indian actor is really funny when he's doing this Indian accent, so like let's have him always do that Indian accent, Like,
so what you're saying is it is really racism. That's what you're saying, Bray. That's what you're saying. Like, nah.
I'm talking about representation, right? Because the accents exist. Like, it's not like, oh, if somebody's has an Indian accent, that's racist. No, like that's just a real thing that happens. It's just that if that's the only thing you're always seeing, you should ask yourself why. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Yeah, and the reason that I said, oh man, this is good, when I saw what the votes were, I think like it's distilled to the thing you said, Akaash, about like how maybe we're doing that thing that white people do where we're like, oh, is this, and we're like overanalyze the thing, right? And and just in thinking about that, like you said that Aladdin was the last time you were like super excited to see, right? Like,
Not even super excited. I was super excited when Aladdin came out because I remember thinking this is as close as I've ever gotten to seeing
right, the
an
closest
Indian.
you'd ever gotten to see it, right?
And
so
that
then
was
it's
the
like,
case for 15 more years.
right, and me being someone who doesn't realize that, you know, I see this movie and then I don't give it a fist because I'm overanalyzing all these other things. But like, had this been any other movie and had this been a bunch of black people in the movie, I would have been like, oh yeah, fist. This has to have a fist. Like, it's populated with black actors, and the movie got nominated for all these Oscars and it made all this money. Like,
Yeah, it proved that it could.
Right. And also, I love Dev Patel. I love him.
He's good in the newsroom.
He's like the
good in
Indian
the newsroom,
version of you.
and he's the Indian version of me.
That's
like
pretty
Indian
good.
version.
I'll take that.
Sure.
And Chappie is my jam. So
you
so
make
like
a
yeah,
robot.
but I mean like
Chappie is my jam.
It is my jam.
Those awards have never been spoken.
Yes, they have.
We're dealing with James. We're dealing with James III. We
Yo,
do realize that.
Ninja's in it. Okay, all right, no. But again, like, I think I gave it a palm because I was overanalyzing and thinking
Totally.
and like weighing
Yeah,
my head
you're right.
about
You're right.
about a lot of different stuff. So
Can I take it back? Can I give it a fist?
No, man.
No, man.
The
No
film
fist.
got.
Film got what it got. It's all
We got what
good.
I got. It's good. It's a great film. You should definitely watch it. Black Fist and three white palms from the three black men. Whatever that means.
One
Cool.
jump
Thank
ahead
you.
of the bread line.
Okay, don't.
yes.
You ain't know where it was from, Akaash.
All I want to do is blah, 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 blah.
No, I was
All right.
I was hitting him with some Aladdin.
Thank you so
I was hitting
much
Aladdin.
for coming. I apologize for Jerah trying to make you sing Aladdin.
I mean, first of all, Aladdin is Prince Ali.
Is there
All I wanna do is
anything
play-
we can plug? This is coming out in maybe 2 weeks.
I think Guy Code versus Girl Code will still be going for a few more weeks. I got
Nice.
that, and that's about it for now. Hopefully,
Dope.
more work coming soon.
Can people follow you on Twitter or anything?
Yes, it's my name. It's AKAASH SINGH, and then Snapchat is Akaash Singh Chat. So Twitter is at Akaash Singh, Instagram at Akaash Singh, Snapchat Akaash Singh Chat. Hit me up.
Dope. All right, and we'll do plugs later. But thank you guys
Thanks
for
for
listening.
Thank y'all for having me, man. This was
Thanks for
fun.
coming, bro.
All right, peace.
Peace.
All right, it's time for some plugs. Please follow us at Black Man Podcast on Twitter and Instagram, blackmanpodcast.com for show dates and some pictures and things like that. Speaking of shows, if you're in LA, we still got two more shows
Thank
coming
you
up.
if you came out last night.
Yep,
Actually,
yep.
we got 3 more shows.
We got 3 more.
Yeah.
Tomorrow,
Come see us. Black Men Can't Jump at the Hollywood Improv.
we're reviewing Undercover Brother.
Undercover
Tomorrow,
Brother.
specifically being Saturday
At 5 p.m.
August 19th.
5 p.m.
5 p.m.
Come out, get a drink, bring a date, make a night of it.
It's
You
like
know
a
what I'm
$10 ticket, pretty cheap.
Yeah.
The 22nd, we will be at UCB Sunset. That's on Sunset Boulevard.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna do an improv show with the Astronomy Club called "Let's Talk About Race, Baby."
saying? Let's talk about race, baby.
Let's talk about.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Talk about race. What? Talk about race. What?
Talk about that race. Talk about that race,
baby.
Race.
Baby.
On the
I love our
20th,
dance
we're
breaks.
really good. Okay, so
Yeah.
August 23rd. On August 23rd, we will be at UCB Franklin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait, did we say what time on the 22nd? 22nd will be 10:30. 10:30 p.m. On the 23rd, on Tuesday, we're going to be at UCB Franklin at 9:30 doing our sketch show, A Journey Through Black History.
We're going to take you through the levels of Black history.
And both of those shows are only $5.
$5.
For me personally, at John Braylock on my social media accounts, johnbraylock.com and stuff like that. Give me a shout out. Tell me how right I am and how wrong these two are. Thank you guys.
Wow.
Okay. You can follow me at Jerah Milligan on Instagram and Twitter. If you check out MTV Facebook Live on Wednesdays, I'm out here selling condoms to stop babies from, being, forced into the world when they don't want to be.
Stop babies.
Imagine if that sentence ended at stop babies. We're here to stop
That's
babies.
it. That's all I got.
You can follow me at James Third Comedy. That's James Third Comedy. Third is 3RD.
Why are you talking like
Nobody
that?
likes
You
you.
can find it at. hey, I don't have a therapist, but if I did, y'all would be the only thing I would talk about. This 90 minutes once a week would be the one thing.
It's just like slow abuse. It's just like it's so messed up. It's like if I don't do it, John would definitely do it.
Yeah, I have this podcast, and they just be so mean.
All right, man. Finish your
You
plugs.
bring it on yourself, man. Stop it.
No, that's what I would talk about. I'm not picking on myself. This is truth.
All right.
That's it. That's all I
James
got.
Third Comedy.
James Third Comedy.com as well.
THIRD comedy.
Third 3RD. All right.
And keep talking about how I spell my name, and then I just don't know.
And next week, we are reviewing the film Do the Right Thing. Yes, starring Spike Lee, directed by Spike Lee.
Yeah.
You know it.
I have never seen it.
What? What's wrong with you?
I've never seen it.
But you've seen Jurassic World 20 times.
I sure have.
All right. Well, we're going to talk about it next week, and we're going to have special guest Shantae Bowen.
Yup.
Up in
Astronomy
this.
Club's on.
That's right. All right. So we'll see you next week. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Peace.
That was a headgum podcast.